Purpose opens clarity. Are you struggling getting started like I was? One of the big things I found is what kept me in that perpetual loop of getting started was trying to solve all the problems up front before I ever had them. If that sounds interesting to you, check out my last video where I talk about don't solve future problems. We need to focus on what's in front of us right now. In this story, I want to share with you what worked out so well. From years of taking all these courses, watching all this content before starting, in this case, a YouTube channel, once I did start, it became easy. It became easy because now that I had clarity on what it was I was doing, and that was focusing on one thing, and that was starting a YouTube channel, the next focus was putting in the reps, getting uploaded videos. So once you have some commitment to something, the steps will start to fall in place. And of course, the problems will start to fall in place that you need to solve. And that's what I wanted to share with you here today. In the past, I would watch all these videos, have all this knowledge of things to be able to solve for, but I hadn't one video uploaded. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially when you watch videos on editing videos or setting up a wireless mic and adjusting the audio and those kind of things. It can be overwhelming, but once you commit to that's what you're going to do, for example, start a YouTube channel, all those things will line up. Uploading the video. If you run into challenges there, you can jump to AI and get those issues solved. Once you have that resolved, then you may notice your audio may not be quite right. Then you can jump into that. But what was interesting is I ran into these challenges and tackled them one by one. They all got solved. Some might have taken a little bit longer than others. The one on the audio did take me some time to get figured out, and I'm sure there's still areas for improvement there. But things moved, I would say, exponentially in the learning curve, the take action curve, and the producing content curve. From consuming all this content, learning about it, but as you've probably heard, you don't really learn it until you do it. Things moved at a rapid rate. And I'll give you one example. In that example of software and video editing, I wish there was a way to look at how many hours I spent looking at which is the best editing software. I have a MacBook computer, which is the best option? And when you jump on the YouTube, of course, there's all different recommendations, and successful YouTubers don't all use the exact same one. They use a variety. They started out on one and may stuck with it. They may have switched down the road, but I'm still trying to sort out which is the best one to edit, and I didn't even have a video to edit yet. Think about that. Are you doing the same thing? There's hope if that's the path that you're on, but I did that same thing, looking at all these things to solve, and I didn't even have the challenge or the problem yet to solve it. So I would spend all this time doing all the research in there, and it's amazing now with AI because it can really format that analysis for you. And oftentimes, which I love about AI too, it seems to know the underlying intent of the question that I'm asking. So I've got all these notes, they're all saved. Shiny object syndrome, I'm distracted by something else. I start the research over. Maybe I find the old research I did, maybe I add to it, whatever it is, but at the end of the day, there wasn't even a video to edit to really be concerned about which was the best one to pick at the moment. But once you have a video to edit, then you have a need, right? You're not just going to upload it as is. In most cases, I know that happens maybe often, but you still want to maybe trim the front and the end of the video off. So then you find out, okay, what's the best software to use? In my case, started out with iMovie. It was already in the computer, it was free, boom, I can jump right in. Seemed to be the simplest to start if you're on the Mac. But that happened. So all that time consumed by which one, I still did the research for final time, made the decision, and then moved forward. The other video I talked about some of the zooming in and out issues that happened. And I think I spent some time on that too. I'm sure that I did before ever launching a video, months, probably even a year ahead. had installed the Blackmagic app and was overwhelmed by it. Would watch videos and different things on how to get the settings right. I wasn't even 100% sure the audio was coming in through the DJI wireless mic at the time. So then researched that and like, oh, okay, now I can tell. You could see on the screen, there's a place that shows you where the input of the audio is, if it's the phone or it's from there. But it wasn't until I needed it and used it, and maybe there's something at that point, we have that clarity, that commitment to something, and the knowledge just kind of goes in a little bit easier, I guess, is maybe the best way to describe it. But even the editing software, that was something too. I would research all these editing softwares, do a couple video clips and try to edit them. And there's some that I probably did that years ago, multiple years back. And now when I needed it, there's no way I remembered it. I didn't do it in repetition, recent, or have any recency in that. But once I had the video uploaded and sorted out the zooming in and out, and then noticed, okay, a lot of these uploads sound a little low, research that. Now that was a big rabbit hole. That took some time to fix, about 20 test videos over a course of weeks. But everything led me to DaVinci Resolve, the editing software that works nice with the Blackmagic camera app. So all these pieces came together, and even though when I mention weeks, think of sometimes consuming content about these things for months or years and not doing anything. So some of these things are going to take as long as they're going to take. Everybody's at a different skill set level, but it's one of those things where once you hit that roadblock, then you focus on that one roadblock to solve it. And once that energy is concentrated, because you now have clarity in what you're trying to achieve, it works out. Here's another example too. Today I was looking at, let's see, there was some various software, of course, to use for YouTube research, for analysis, competitive research, all those things. And I know I've done this a million times in ChatGPT over probably the past year. The same thing, hey, would you review this kind of thing, where now there's so much memory within ChatGPT and within Claude from conversations of what it is I'm trying to achieve, and even seeing some of the history on what videos we have uploaded, having all of that knowledge. Now when I ask in ChatGPT, hey, here's 3 video softwares I'm looking at. This one seems fairly new, but it is really promoting the AI piece of it. This one here is looking for some outlier content out of various channels to get some ideas on what is resonating in the YouTube space. The other one, vidIQ, that just seems like a sure winner. It's been around forever. And as AI does, it gives a really great breakdown. But what was even more amazing about the output on that, it says, well, based on where you're at in this whole process, what you're trying to achieve, that's what you need to focus on. Don't focus on the urgency of the promotion. Don't focus on this software's been around and has the most reputable user base. This one is fairly new. Look at the problem you're trying to solve and which software is going to get you past that roadblock. The same thing we've been talking about. And I think the reason this is all coming together is once there's some data, I think right now there's maybe 30 videos. Now there's something to work with. The views may be low, the subscribers may be low, but if anything, there's momentum in getting better on camera, hopefully. Hopefully I'm looking at the camera. That was one of the things I always struggled with. I don't know why that was such a challenge to do that, but still working on to improve that. But things are moving forward. And I thought that was the most brilliant response on that ChatGPT when it looked at which is the best software to use in perspective of what we committed to achieve and what the current focal point or what we have clarity on at the moment. And that makes so much sense. And I wish I could find a video. There was a video, and I don't know who the creator was, and this is what made him successful. This is exactly what they did. They said, hey, I purchased XYZ software last year because I had this specific issue and that software solved that specific issue. And that's what I used it for. That's what I bought it for and moved on. Where I'm thinking of my perspective, my old self of, well, yeah, everybody's going to need this type of competitive research or software to write content or all these different things. And if you look at it from that perspective, you'll say yes and purchase everything. And I think a lot of them, there's always the urgency on saying yes to a lot of these things, when in many cases, it's not even something that's going to have a positive return on investment up front. What's incredible about the YouTube piece, and luckily I had a lot of these pieces purchased in advance, the mic, having the iPhone, those kind of things, having the software already on the computer. But in terms of software, I don't have any software yet, right? I'm looking, I said I was doing some exploration on software for optimization and different things like that. But there are more results here without any course or software purchase versus before purchasing a bunch of courses and software and having absolutely zero to show for it, zero projects in motion, you name it. So that's the thing I want to share today is once you start taking action, and it might be tough to get that first one, but the positive dopamine you'll feel from that will drive the next step in whatever business that you're working on or whatever you're pursuing. And just ask yourself, is that pursuit of getting clarity holding you back? Are you waiting to have clarity 100% in everything before you start? Or have you been looking at this from the complete inverted perspective where maybe that taking the action, committing, and having clarity on something is going to unlock all the doors and make all those things so much easier than they appear to be now? It'll make such a huge difference. So wish you the best. Keep moving forward. Excited you're here. We'll talk with you soon. Thanks again.